That's something we've seen in the previous map. That's something we've seen in the previous matches as well, with Hellraisers taking on Nexus earlier in this week. And it's seemingly Nexus not being able to come back in the end. Maybe this time they will be. Green hearts in the chat if you do love them, and well, I do, and let's see if they can make it work. Knife to come in. Who will be starting on the CT side? Who will be starting on the D side? Of course, if you're a Nexus fan, you're hoping for them to step correctly, but so far, in 2 out of 3 maps, Hellraisers has been able to choose their preferred side.
Yeah, those green hearts, of course, coming from the era right before Nexus rebranded, because they only recently rebranded to the blue color, apparently. But hey, look at this. It's... Ooh, this is close, actually.
1v1 me on mid, bro.
1v1. Oh boy, let's see who's going to be.
They're both missing. It's a little bit awkward, and eventually, they miss again.
Oh, this tight.
It's going to be Raga eventually falling. Hellraisers with a 4K from J Lime. Knife God. Wouldn't want to see him in the dark alleyway. He's going to be able to once more decide what side they want to start on. And well, I dare to guess, RJ.
Really
now?
It
would be the CT side. And for some reason, they've also decided to most likely go for it.
Interesting. You're saying that they'd start on the CT side? Wow, I could never imagine that happening.
Well, let's see what this round will bring. It's going to be Nexus. Of course, on that D side, Glocks to come in. Curious to see if there will be a raid boss as well, because, well, raid bosses are great, but maybe they won't really do all too much. It's going to be, of course, well, a little bit of utility. Sometimes you actually see 2 players bringing some utility with that armor as well. And, well, it's going to be only one. Spinze bringing that out as Large throws in a molly towards the stairs. There will be a B banana push coming down from the side of Hellraisers. Moving up, Xello and Raka both getting a kill, but there's another one. Raka will fall, but it's going to be Kalinka instantly to be traded out. That means it's now a 4-2 situation. Hellraisers pushing down 3 players towards banana, and then you'd say, well, Nexus, you know those kills are in on towards the B side. That should be doable to get. Yet, they are now actually going for an A-take, where the remaining 2 players from Hellraisers are actually standing, and it makes it a little bit harder for them. Someone moving up, looking the wrong way, will go down to a clean shot from JR. That's a 1-tap coming in, and now a 2-on-3, and they're now going for, oh my god, a AF's approach. JR with yet another, and yet another 1-tap. Now it's a 1v2 for Ime. Of course, he can do it, gets the first one. The other player actually moving in towards that, baiting JR in towards Oblivion. But, of course, now Ime will not be expecting this one to come in 1-0 for Hellraisers. But if I would be JR, I'd be rather cross about this one.
Understandably so, but those taps from JR were on point, honestly. That was disgusting almost to see, I'd say. Well done by him, and in the end it is, you can see them here again, by the way, just looking down towards mid, getting the first, and then 1, 2, 3. But that third, so painful, right? You just love to see it work out, but it doesn't. Ime there.
Well, I was already wondering, like, how is Ime still alive?
Yeah.
Because there should be 2 players, like, standing there trying to shoot at him. But now we do see, actually, Ime going down, Xello and BTN both going rather low. And so far, this isn't the start Nexus was hoping for.
Absolutely
1 kill in return, but nothing really more happening as well. And MP9 will rush in, but run out of ammo. Oh, J-Lime.
That is a really sorry and sad mistake, quite honestly. You know, that should have really not happened there.
Well, aggression towards banana. It's going to be Siminte falling, and a jumping kill to come in from Kalinka to finish things off. A double for himself, and, well, eventually a 2-0 for Hellraisers. So far, it will be yet another eco for the side of Nexus, which is unfortunate to say the least. But they're hoping that they can bring it back, at least in the next round. With just Glocks, I don't think they can. Just a guess.
Is that really? Oh, really? Is that an educated guess?
Not an educated guess.
Are you speaking from experience, perhaps?
No, not really. I've played many of bugs where my team and I were able to throw away whatever we could in the early start of a round. Nades indeed coming in towards Banana Car. There will be a few chiming in, but no player actually standing there from the side of Hellraisers. Towards the sandbags, it would have been a little bit better, as Kalinka would have fallen, but now he actually had the opening frag. Taking one down on towards Raga once more, going very aggressive for himself. The problem with a refrag, also J-Lime coming in, is going to be only Siminti in this 1v5 P215 hand. Seeing a player at dark weight, a good tap coming down, but J-Lime was like, spray and pray, going in, it's gonna work.
And hey, sometimes you just need to spray and pray, right? Sometimes you just... Are you looking at my track
I'm
record?
just looking at your track record in your
Okay.
final GG betting, and well, you did quite okay
Actually,
today. Actually,
yeah.
quite a few wins.
Yeah, not that bad, right? Just,
I'm proud.
I know. Things might actually be going my way a little bit. And you did... Oh, dear.
I did a few crazy ones.
Yeah. But who knows, right? You bet on Nexus Gaming beating Hellraisers, so let's see if that was right. Maybe Nexus really comes back in Inferno now. Maybe they really prove themselves. I honestly, you know, in a way I'm rooting for you. I do honestly hope that it can work out, but we'll have to see now, especially with this full buy coming in from Nexus. That might be it. That might be what they need, you know, to start off their winning, well, round streak and to make something wonderful happen, to make your, well, bets come true instead of your dreams. But I'm sure they're closely related.
I'm already dreaming about my bets being true. If Nexus does beat Hellraisers, I'll be above 100 again.
Ooh.
That would be a great comeback after losing loads yesterday. Nate's coming in, however, towards bottom mid. It's going to be Flarage with a double kill coming down, actually a triple for himself. And within a few seconds, only BTN is alive. Seeing a nade come towards his face, and he should have died to it, but problem with a dink will deal eventually enough damage. 4-0, and Nexus their first buy, doing nothing of a really good result. Meaning that, well, once again, we have a little bit of a repeat from what we saw in the second map, and I believe also in the first map, where Hellraisers from the get-go was just way stronger. And that early prowess, that is really something that Hellraisers is doing quite well on, also against, of course, Crazy earlier on. But Nexus, they should be able to possibly do something in return. It's just the tempo swings, it's just the money management. They're just not being able to, well, fight against it. As now Nates will also deal damage on towards his Pistolar. Raga already going low, and J-Lime taking care of Xello.
Neatly done. That's, again, one man down on the Nexus side. We're running with those Deagles and that Tech 9 in Semince's hands. And let's see if with it they can at least deal a little bit of damage. That's the least you'd hope for, but so far Hellraisers seem to really be the bosses of Inferno. They have those sites locked down to a pinch, and Nexus doesn't even, or well, can't even get on top of them. I believe also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think we've even seen a plant yet coming from Nexus, have we?
Correct. So far, they haven't been able to. In the pistol, they were close. Yeah, there was a player in the abs
Yeah, in
area,
abs,
just
yeah, the
tap him away.
Yep.
And from that point onwards, it was a little bit of a, well, poo-poo show for the side of Nexus. As well, they now get a kill in, but they're being flashed out. They're just having to wait, and eventually Semince will be tagged up on towards 10 HP as well. BTN low. Emid dropping block, going for a frag on towards Kalinka, but it's going to be hard without a utility, and it's going to be Kalinka with a clean triple kill. Unfortunately, a 5-0 for Hellraisers if you're looking from a Nexus perspective. But I think that if you're looking at who should be the better team, of course it should be Hellraisers. They've won in the previous 2 matches against the side of Nexus, so betting against them might be the mistake on my end.
Really? Are you starting to see
No, I'm not doubting, but I'm saying that, well, Hellraisers, of course, should be favored, and they're making it work right now.
Yeah, and I understand your point of view, but hey, let me talk some confidence into you, right? This is only the first few rounds. This can still be turned around so much, and this is another pretty much full buy for Nexus. Of course, their loss bonus is seriously up there. Problem here gets the first frag, and oh, through the smoke, the second goes in. Xello goes down, and that is a right shame. Problem with that having really miraculously and very well opened the 6th round, and that might have just been the opening that Hellraisers needed to, well, get this 6th round in the pocket as well.
Once more on the aggression, takes a kill before swapping to his utility. Of course, not really being the most favorable option. Well, at least it's now a 4-2 situation. Nexus, of course, also losing as they are losing players by the 10 seconds, just about. Leaving only Semince alive. The bomb to be dropped at the archway long corner. There's going to be JR being tagged up, but, well, now he knows the player is on quad, and Semince will actually take down Flarage. Has to be wary of course, that new corner towards long. However, also the push from Banana. J-Lime saying, I need kills as well. That means 6-0 for Hellraisers so far. They are building and extending their lead by every round actually thrown at them by Nexus. Once more, not really doing too well with the nades coming in, and of course the spray from Problem, making it a little bit easier for himself. And, well, it meant a very clean start, maybe a little bit of a lucky start as well. You see that second kill to come in.
Yeah, Problem really consistently being that
nuisance.
Nuisance is what you. That's well, nuisance to Team Nexus, but in the end, really just being that top player. You know, even in that first round or first map, even being at the top of the leaderboard, and in the second one, being second, but a close second. You know, and honestly, I feel like he's a player that we might not have highlighted enough so far. And oh, look at that! Have you ever had chickens at home?
No.
Oh, we have.
I've never really had enough room to have chickens because I live quite close to a, well...
The biggest city.
The biggest city.
Mr. City
in
Man.
Friesland, which is not that large because we have just about 100,000 inhabitants, which for a city for most people isn't really good. And for the Netherlands, it isn't either. But this chicken is beautiful. I can only say it's feathers.
Exquisite.
Not even ruffled. Or rustled, I have to say. Rustle my jimmies, ruffle my feathers?
I think ruffled, actually, but I'm not sure.
So I
think
was right from the get-go.
Yeah.
It's a chicken. It's just messing with my mind. It's too beautiful. Look, there's also one to the right.
Oh, wonderful.
I want to pet it with my knife.
What? Are you that type of player? Do you always go for the chicken kills?
Oh, yes.
Oh.
Why wouldn't you? It's a feature.
Yeah, I suppose it is a feature. Oh, well, let's see instead of kickens instead of chickens, there will be more Nexus players getting killed because, once again, they're on a... Well, pistol armor is the best way to put it. With a little bit of utility, that could be used well, but that isn't looking too good for them, you know. It's difficult odds that they're punching up against. And also, look at the Hellraiser reserves on some players. Problem is already getting close to that 16k. It's utter insanity. And Hellraisers with that, well, just really fighting against Nexus and very convincingly succeeding in that.
Well, Hellraisers ready to win against yet another pistol armor coming down from their opponents. JR standing by with one of their two AWPs. He's biding his time, holding that B side solo, as it will actually be the first kill coming down from Xello. It's going to be J Lime standing by the AWP, not being flashed at this moment in time because there isn't a flash. A very good tech one HP left on towards him, but he will go down actually later on as it's going to be Kalinka in towards that pit angle. Look at this. It's going to be a 1v2 AWP to be recovered by BTN. The problem is Xello on his 4K, by the way. Not able to have a weapon just yet, and now they're only now going for the plant. BTN had an AWP, went in towards pit, said, well, I'm just going to look around and see if I can find an M4, which suits my eye better. And it's a little bit weird that he didn't throw his AWP towards Xello because he's a great hopper. Now a 1v1 flash to come in. But BTN just getting the kill as it pops. Seeing JR move in. It's the first round for Nexus. On that pistol armor win. And Nico for some. And that will at least propel their economy a little bit. Yet of course they also have to reinvest, having only one player alive.
And for a moment there, I'd even think if that flash had popped just about a second earlier, there could have maybe been the opportunity for JR to actually get the frag there and turn that round into their favor. It got close for a moment, but in the end, the result is there. Positive for Nexus. The first round going in their favor, and who knows, hopefully for them, one of many. Of course, the thing being, Hellraisers, they had a mad amount of reserves, and now they've been able to, well, use those and extend them, and with that, buy their weapons again.
RJ, I have a question for you. If it would be Halloween, who on the Hellraiser side would be dressed as a pirate?
JR, because it's sort of shorthand for Yar.
JR.
JR. There we go.
Hey, you were close.
Yep. To be fair, I only just started thinking about the fact that his name is my initials reversed.
Oh my god. Well,
I know, right?
The opening kill towards BTN gets another one on towards Raka.
Dear.
No utility being used by the side of Nexus, despite him having quite a lot. And now they're on a 2v5. It's not really what we want to see if you're a Nexus fan, but it's going to be Semente. If another frag, and J Lime also with the follow-up on towards him. And I'm hoping, RJ, that when Nexus loses... Oh, JR.
No.
JR in reverse.
Yes.
I'm hoping that if Nexus loses, There will be some Nexus fans trying to console me as well in my Twitter DMs because otherwise I don't.
Is
think
it,
I can sleep
is this a very long, long around way of saying that your Twitter DMs are open for Nexus fans?
Yes.
Oh.
I want to share my passion for Nexus with them.
Okay, well, I think that offer extends for the both of us.
If they lose right here, tomorrow, they can of course come back even stronger. The problem is, right now, they've just lost Xello, and now it's a 5v4, and, well, JR is standing by with, of course, his AWP in hand, losing not a player yet, because, of course, they get more and more kills. More shots, however, also being fired by the side of Nexus, just to be peeked upon. And J Lime also getting the frag, and this is what I was a little bit worried about. Hellraisers, their aim looked so incredibly strong on the previous map, and they just get round after round just by out-fragging their opponents, and they're just able to push through mid. JR moving up with his knife, trying to go for something cheeky. He eventually needs to get the kill with his AWP, and we're going to see Nexus. We're believing.
I
am believing.
You still believe in the comeback, right?
I always believe in the comeback of Nexus.
Your heart still beats green.
My heart still goes on.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Well, personally, I'm getting to worry a little bit. Hellraisers, they've gotten the, well, definite first half advantage now with the 8th round going in their favor. And the way things are looking, I would honestly not be surprised if we get this first half ended up with a 12, maybe 13 rounds for Hellraisers. It'd be, quite the deficit for Nexus, but I wouldn't be surprised at this point. And oh, look at how J-Lime opens that up. Was that just a hold through the smoke? And then Flaric here, exceptional team play, a swift round going into Hellraiser's pocket. And with that, the 9th for them.
Well.
Oh, JR is junior, apparently.
Yeah, I know. But, well, it sounds better if he's trying to dress as a pirate.
Yeah.
So ready.
Yeah.
It's going to be Hellraisers again, extending their lead as, well, this pistol armor buy from Nexus didn't really work out. The spray from J-Lime through the smoke did quite well. As you can see, Raga finally dying in the end. Flaric doing also quite well with the double kill, eventually being dinged, but it was not enough. 9-1. Hellraisers just a little bit, or, well, a little bit, quite a bit too strong for Nexus at this moment in time.
Maybe, for now. You are still believing in the turnaround. You still see it happening. But let's see, if they can prevent Hellraisers from getting to those double digits first. I think that's a good goal for Nexus to focus on. And with Ime going for that initial frag, taking out Kalinka, there's a good chance of them starting out this round well. In the meantime, though, that nade thrown right back at Problem takes him out. And, oh, that's a delayed refrag. That's going to sting just a little bit extra.
But if you look at the Nexus side of things, the
Nexus side of life. The grass is always greener on the Nexus side.
The Cemente comeback seeds have already been seeded. So don't stop believing. He's ready to make it happen. You just have to believe, don't hate, appreciate. It's going to be Cemente with the first frag. At least it's something. But the problem is there's nobody there to refrag. They're going for a completely open B side. Yet they're taking too long. Problem already moving in towards the back. Yet now being slightly too late, as the bomb soon will go in. They're still playing as if there's a guy there because they don't know. We see everything. We are gods. But so far it seems like Hellraisers is as well. Getting round after round, but now maybe losing one. Xello getting a triple frag. And he's doing what he did against Apex as well. And as I said, the Cemente have been planted.
Wow. Look at you being fluent in Romanian. Maybe, just maybe, in your free time, if you've got a bit of spare time tonight.
I'm fluent in one word at a time.
Yeah,
please.
yeah. Just if you got some spare time tonight, install a language training app and start getting your Romanian on point.
One of those audio things for overnight.
Yeah. Have someone talk you to sleep in Romanian. I mean, I listen to audiobooks, but you go do that instead, buddy. Maybe that works.
And then I'll know more than Doi Spetze.
Yeah, I think that was decent enough.
Yeah, that's pretty good 12.
I'll put you in touch with that Romanian friend of mine.
Because we're now going to the 12 round as well, so it's actually quite applicable as well.
Wow. Round Doi Soprece.
What?
Something in that ballpark. I'm sure the Romanians will correct us. Let's see, though. That 12th round, like you say, with now I'm going to assume it's a tactical, maybe from Nexus. Hellraisers getting close to those double digits. Oh, no, wait, actually, one of the Hellraisers players is gone. Oh, internet
Rip in
issues.
peace.
Yep.
It's been there before for Hellraisers. I'm hoping that maybe they get a new connection or something because so far, well, we've at one time had all the players disconnecting. By the way, of course, we should not forget that if Nexus loses here, which currently
it seems like
it. I'm not believing it yet, but it seems like it. Might be I'm being in denial. But, well, if they lose, they still have a rematch to go for that top 2 and, of course, the playoffs. They will have to fight either Crazy or Apex, whoever wins first tomorrow. And, well, if Nexus wins against either of those teams, they will go to the top 2. Of course, have another rematch against, well, if it happens, Hellraisers, to then see who is seed number 1. Will get some additional money. But they could also be happy because, of course, they've also made 500 euros already getting here. Going to the lower bracket, they have a shot at another 500 euros.
I think there's a solid chance that Nexus would be able to face up against Crazy or Apex. I think that they could win both of those matches, to be quite honest.
Well, looking at their performance against Apex and figuring out that they're doing quite a bit better than Crazy so far, I'm thinking that, well, they should be able to eventually topple at least Apex again, possibly Crazy as well. But like Crazy, they brought it to overtime on Dust 2. And, well, Nexus is now going to 3 maps, however, no overtime just yet. So I'm curious to see if their map pool will be working quite well against the side of Crazy. But I'm just not sure yet. I'm just going to check. Looking at the numbers.
You're going to do some numbers calculation. Yeah, I do wonder if the lads from Hellraisers are maybe going to also, after this match is done, raise some hell with their ISP and try and get these internet issues resolved. Because quite honestly, it is a little bit, well, tiresome, so to speak, so to say. But who knows? Maybe, just maybe after this could also be a sort of advantage for Nexus, right? A little bit of a reset, I guess, coming in for Nexus, and they can then try and really just keep it up and actually fight back. End this first half with 6 rounds to their name. That's not terrible. That's doable.
I'm just looking at the win rates for either party before going into their respective matches of today. I would say that most likely Nexus will possibly try to ban out Nuke. It's one of their perma bans, or at least a map they've only played once in the past 3 months. Then Overpass will be open, a map they're not too good on, and Crazy might actually try to play. So I'm a little bit scared that might actually play in towards the court of Crazy if they would have to face off against it later on. A trade has come down. It's going to be, of course, our good friend Oxello going low and eventually out for the count, but at least they deal some damage. And a trade, as said before, always favors the T side. The CT side will be spread thin amongst the maps. We'll have a rotator, possibly less, because they have to commit somewhere. But now with 3 players, there was a little bit of contact gone towards that B side. It's going to be BTN picking up that AWP of his fallen teammate, takes down JR. Now a 4-on-3, and it seems like there will be a good rotate called by Nexus. They're saying there's an offer here. There's going to be only player on the side, or at least close by. The rotators most likely already stacking towards A, and they did. As J-Line will go down to Samantha as well. This might be a 3rd round coming in for Nexus. They're slowly coming back in. And we're going to believe in, of course, that Nexus comeback.
Well, honestly, I do see it happening. I think that there's a good chance now they've got the 2-man advantage, 4v2. So this is definitely a given. This is in their pocket. But, well, they do have to keep that going. I do believe that Hellraisers, they still have decent enough reserves, especially if they take these 2 rifles with them to the next round. They've also got those 2 defuse kits, which is enough. Like it'll do if you spread those out tactically. If you make sure that they aren't both on the same bomb site, then that's decent enough. Then you don't need to invest in those. So I think Hellraisers should confidently be able to buy after this round, which does mean that well, Nexus is still going to be facing off against a fully equipped team, and that might not be too favorable for their odds. Although to be fair, we've already seen it in this half that Hellraisers with or that Nexus, even with just the pistol armor, still managed to raise hell against Hellraisers.
It's going to be 9-3. Nexus slowly getting a round back for themselves every now and then. But every now and then apparently doesn't cut it. They need to now bring it in towards a 9-6, win the pistol on towards the CT side, which, well, sometimes is rather hard on a close range map as Inferno, if those Ts do push in rather close with those Glocks. It's going to be a little bit of utility flying towards Banana, trying to get some control early on, at least try to push that player on the AWP, JR, out of his position. However, he's currently playing at that A side, so that won't really be working towards B, as Innate will deal a lot of damage on towards Ime. He's saying, well, if there might be a third, I'm not going to catch it.
Yeah, better play it safe, you know. If you've got that little HP left, then you don't want to take that risk. And with that, Nexus has to make some calculated decisions. They want to play out these last few rounds well. They can play it out so well that, you know, they could get to those 6 rounds. It is achievable, it is doable, but for that they need to put down a perfect performance. And right now, that's maybe not so much looking like it could happen. And I very much worry that Hellraisers couldn't just do it the other way around, that they couldn't go for the 12-3. Now that would be a very, very demoralizing and, well, I think disturbing score to end the first half on. Even if you might be, you know, rooting for Nexus, and if you believe in them to the end, even then you might start to worry. You might start to have some concerns, some second thoughts. And it starts out somewhat negatively for them. Semense does get fragged. JR takes him out. Problem here with the boosted position, and BTN goes face first on that bomb site. Kalinka comes in, goes for a double, and with J Lime ending it out, it is the 10th round for Hellraisers coming in. That boosted position from Problem there, along with the Kalinka hold being too strong for Nexus to even put the bomb down on the site.
But that's a very bad execute from the side of Nexus, I have to say. Of course, that boost position will be hard. Usually netting you 1 kill, but there has to be a player moving in to pre-fire it. They were moving in one by one in that time slot as well.
Yeah.
And that means that Hellraisers had first problem with the kill. Then they are slowly trying to move towards him instead of one player turning around, giving a clean headshot and go on with their life. But Kalinka from the new box was also able to do something in return, and now we have a 10-3 double digit already as JR is burning up. But he will survive with only 12 HP remaining. More than enough for now. And of course, more than enough for an AWP player. As the wall banks do come out, yet no damage being dealt. And Nexus might be a little bit heartbroken. Going in towards the later rounds of this first half. And we know that Hellraisers is strong. But will they be strong enough on the T side as well? As long as we believe in whatever the CT side of Hellraisers can do, Nexus can do as well. There is a chance. However, its problem sprays down. Our good friend Cello is going to be a 5v4, and well, the CIS team seems to be the stronger side at this moment.
For now, you know? Who knows for how long their reign may, well, reign supreme. At the moment, I'd say that Nexus does have that one-man disadvantage. Of course, isn't the end of the world. See, case in point, BTN turns it around and frags Kalinka with some help from Kalinka's teammate Problem, who, well, misaimed a frag or something, perhaps. J Lime, though, quite immediately throwing that back and getting a frag in hand. Going for the second even as Raga gets shot down. I'm now pushing towards Library. This could go both ways. It's going to be a critical and important AWP shot for JR, but he rather swiftly ends it there as J Lime actually fragged Aime before he managed to even get into Library.
Sad times. It's going to be some great crossfires being set up by Hellraisers, you have to say. 2 players on towards the side, holding every possible angle, and of course that AWP of JR being covered off. The only thing that could have worked for Nexus if they would have sent a player through archway towards the little fountain and moved around, possibly gain CT entrance, and then they could have either gone towards B or do something in their favor to disrupt JR, get that kill, and possibly put some more pressure from multiple angles towards the A side. But them losing numbers that early on, at least that convincingly, was a little bit hard. Nate to the face for Kalinka, but still a kill nonetheless. It is BTN going down, and well, without Father B, Nexus might be a little bit without guidance.
Yes, needing that. I do wonder, actually, could he also be the IGL?
I'm not sure.
It would be fitting, right, in all the playing being the IGL. Now, what might also be fitting is the way that Nexus pushes onto this side. Good pick control gained by fragging Flourish there. J Lime now falling back towards mid, and This time it's going to come down to Xello here. He's got in Boiler Room, but his location has already been found. And J-Line pushing through the molly. Oh, they might not expect this, actually.
Woo!
IM goes in behind, though. He pulls the same thing J-Line just did. And that is a 4v2. This round could convincingly go to Nexus. Problem does get a good frag on IMA there. But so far, it could go both ways.
It's going to be Raga standing by with an AK in pit. There will be an incendiary falling though, so he will go for mini pit. There's already a player standing there, so they're just biding their time. It's going to be Problem moving up with this AK still falling, however, to Xello.
No
This
time.
last round might actually go in favor indeed of Nexus as there was no time. Hellraisers eventually falling, but well, losing 4 rounds to their 11 gained. Not too much of a problem. Xello did quite well in the kills. However, the rest of the team slightly slacking, especially Ime. He's been a stellar player for them in the previous map, or actually previous maps. And now, going on towards this one, he's a little bit silent. 4-14 score. That will hurt him. That hurt him a lot.
Yeah, there are a couple of, I guess it's a two-faced problem, right? It's Hellraisers who play quite strongly on their sites. Aim of those plays is also just quite simply on point today. Look at Problem.
Setup's great
Look
as well.
at J-Line. Yeah, just site control is so tightly locked down. The setups, indeed, setting up those crossfires. It's all pretty much on point, you know, and that is very hard for Nexus to go against. But at the same time, Nexus sometimes have really quite bad executes onto sites, and they go for certain, well, how do you put it, certain one-by-one peaks, you know. They take certain risks and they go for fights that they shouldn't go for in the first place. And that is also just, well, you just see it happen and you just think, oh, come on, lads. You know better than this. We've said it so often, but you should all know this even better than us, you know? It's just a shame and, well, you don't like to see it happen, but it is the harsh reality. Let's now get into the pistol. Whomever takes this pistol should have a bit of momentum in their favor. So if Nexus can get this, they should have a chance.
Ime will have a good spot on towards the players around, and indeed PTN is actually the
Hey, look at
IGL.
that. Good
So,
assumption.
Your brain working overtime today.
200
It's
IQ.
working quite well. It seems to be an egg execute coming down from the side of Hellraisers. Those Glocks coming in close. But there is actually a player here at the balcony falling back now as well. It's going to be Ime standing by, but will he be standing by properly? Or will he fall in the end as those Glocks, of course, can come into close range? He's trying to go a little bit more aggressive. Trying to peek towards mid where there will be 2 players standing. Actually gets a frag as well on towards J-Line. Gets a second on towards Kalinka. Low ammo,
Okay.
but still a one-tap on towards AR. And only Flourish alive in that pit. They're trying to hunt him down, and so they will. BTN for the last frag. And 11-5. Nexus at least winning the second pistol. And this is what they need to get that comeback going.
This might indeed be the turnaround moment for Nexus. Good start for them now means that they could string a few rounds together, and that would undoubtedly be in their favor. Oops.
Oh, that's a little bit of a
There's a
hiccup.
little bit of a hiccup there. Yeah, that was.
There's a good thing, by the way. You might be shocked
I
if
was-
Nexus has that comeback, and then those hiccups go away quite easily.
That you've got a solid point there. Maybe that's it. That could just be the thing that I need.
Easy fix by our friends. It's
Surprise.
coming in towards his B-side. Damage being dealt. It's going to be some into falling, and Xello, well, 23 HP. Good luck, buddy. MP9 in hand. Actually get 1 kill. Let's go for a little bit of a cheeky pre-fire. That's a little... Oh, my God, no.
Oh no!
It's happening. Oh, no, RJ.
Oh yes.
Raga just did the oopsie.
He team killed. He
There
team
was
killed.
a nade from downtown. Great Kobe. Yes,
Yep.
not really a great start to the round further on for the side of Nexus. Oh, Ime, you're overcommitting.
That's-
You
yeah.
should know better than that.
He shouldn't have been out there.
For the first kill, you have to fall back, but he stay to fight. Grabbed his USB, expecting nobody to come down from the AFs for some reason. That smoke won't stop them. They can just run through. And now we have an M4 on towards J-Line. He's standing by, but he will fall from long range to BTN. The legend himself, 31 years old, but playing as if he were just 18.
As if he were a chipper young lad. Now let's see, speaking of chipper young lads, I believe Kalinka is also a bit of a younger player on the Hellraiser side. And he doesn't seem to hold it off well enough. Raga, BTN both get a critical frag in. And with that, Nexus now gets the defuse. Second half so far started off well enough for them. Quite some sloppy seconds there, though, has to be said, for Nexus, but they came out on top in the end. However, it could have gone either way. It was honestly looking not too favorable for them with that team kill coming in, and well, I assume Raga will have been properly yelled at for that in the TeamSpeak or whatever they might be using.
Well, it hurts, but eventually they do come back. But the problem is they've given a bomb plant on towards Hellraisers. Them going on towards a buy right now. Look at how many of them have $800 left. 0.
Oof.
So that means they could really use that money to buy more utility than they have. They bought everything, their heart desires. And of course that might mean a difference between 1 flash and 2 flashes. A molly or no molly. And that could actually mean a round win or not a round win. Raga will be flashed in by his teammate, however. Flareage standing by to instantly get the kill in favor of Hellraisers. I do like the aggression, I do like them trying something as Ime is of course wild as ever, trying to peek towards mid. He goes low, same goes for BTN, but at least they have brought it back to a 4-on-4. The problem is now that they have 3 players on towards this A side, which of course normally wouldn't be too bad. There's now 1 player actively holding the B side, and the rotate is quite a way off.
It's tough for them, and who knows if there comes a bit of an aggressive push it down. Banana, it doesn't look like it though. J-Lime is going to try and contest that. There might be a rotate towards this site now, actually, by the looks of things. Ooh, but nope, that's rather quickly called back. They are keeping that heavy A-bomb site presence, which is obviously quite helpful for them. And if they can keep that working, that means that just maybe, this can still be a round turned into the favor of Hellraisers. They just have to hold their sights off well enough. Or also Hellraisers, I mean Nexus actually.
Ooh,
oh
dear. Will be standing by, still expecting a player to move in that quickly. Xello also going low as BTN is standing by, still in pit. He might actually play a very smart, slow game. It seems as if Hellraisers is still contemplating if there would be a player there. Very good thing from Xello, yet of course him being low, meaning he dies from 1 shot. There will be another ding coming in. It's going to be J-Lime going down. It's going to be Kalinka spotted out. Oh, BTN! Of course, playing the smart game. And it works out once more. A 7th round for Nexus. And, well, there might have been a bomb plant going in favor of Hellraisers. But I'm a little bit worried for them that they might be losing round by the 2nd. And, well, with Nexus in my heart, those fans really getting to me, I'm feeling quite happy.
That's so cute. Well, let's see. Hellraisers, they are losing rounds and rounds by the minute, so perhaps this could be the starting point for Nexus to throw themselves onto the rest of this game. Could them, could get them to the double digits initially, then just go that little stretch further to make it the equalizer. I believe in it. I can see it happening. And who knows, maybe just for you, they'll put in that extra effort. It starts off okay. Flareage naded a little bit. Xello even here with a strong banana hold, a decisive spray down, and ooh, even decided to go for a bit of an aggressive position. And that might be interesting. That could work out if he does have someone walking into his crosshair.
It makes it easier for your teammate to then rotate because, of course, from that wall position, it's only actually wall bangable for an AWP. So the moment you stand there, you spot a player, you either fight or you fall back. If you fall back, there can be a rotate. If you fight, you most likely die, but you at least try to get 1 kill. And from that point onwards, you have an early warning, but the push will actually come towards A. Molly's being thrown out by the side of Nexus. Ime will get a kill. He once again wants to go aggressive, but please, play a little bit smart every now and then. BTN saying, come back here, boy. We're going for a fight at a later date. It feels a little bit like God of War, and then...
Boy. Yeah, it does fit BTN, of course, being that older player in the IGL. Very strong hold there from Raga and some Insei at the end there. BTN finishes it off, and only J-Lime left here at the bottom of mid, with the bomb at the top of mid. And that suddenly seeming like a distance as far as the gaps between the Grand Canyon.
It's going to be J-Lime still moving up a little bit. 20 seconds left on the clock, and, well, he doesn't have any money. And now he doesn't have any lives anymore. BTN getting a bunch of frags so far on towards his map. A double again in this round. Currently up to 12. Of course, that's not a stellar performance, but looking at where they started on the second half,
yeah,
that's
4
actually
rounds.
A very good comeback. 11-8 now. they're getting in there slowly but steadily. And of course, their CT side should be favored rather than the T side. Hellraisers once more, actually the third map in a row, winning the knife and being able to choose what side they want to start on. But this time it might not be working out. They're calling a tactical timeout as they are, well, contemplating on what to do. Do they have money? Nope. But I think they've already invested.
They've already invested, yeah. You can look at the utility, you know. They've got those flashes, the mollies, the smoke. It's probably not going to be the most amazing buy. I might even anticipate a pistol armor of some sort. And with that, it's going to be interesting to see what tactic they might pull, assuming, of course, that it is their tactical timeout.
Well, of course, Hellraisers not getting the bomb plant in their previous round, I do believe. Of course, not getting that additional $800 for every player. That means they now have to go indeed for the pistol armor. You can also see it in their equipment value. Not all too high. Just high enough for Nexus to steamroll over and get their 9th round. Or at least, we hope. It's going to be a full buy, of course, from Nexus. Slowly trying to build some cash. In the previous round, they survived with quite a few players. So that made it a little bit easier for themselves. It's going to be Amen. Throwing in towards a molly on towards second mid, dealing a little bit of damage now, falling back through a molly as well, because he's being contested. He's coming down from the side of Nexus, dealing a lot of damage. Raga with his first kill, but on towards long there is a player. Oh, Raga!
Oh dear.
That's a little bit, or actually not a little bit, quite unfortunate. Hime on towards the side, gets the first frag, should be wary, of course, of his back, but a support will come in soon. A push also coming down from the Hellraisers player, now a 3-2-2. Saminte gets a clean kill, however, on towards JR, but they have picked up AKs. And they have armor, as it is a pistol armor. Nate's coming in, that will be a molly, possibly to deal damage on towards Kalinka, but it bounces off the box. And as Spire takes down the frag on towards the mid, Zello.
Oh no.
And he will be sprayed down through the smoke. Kalinka finishes things off, and now we have a 12-8 scoreline. Almost a team kill coming in from Kalinka, knifing Flarge. A little bit happy, or maybe just a little bit over enthusiastic. Nexus loses a round. At least they're now buying. But can they buy into a win? Or will be yet another round for Hellraisers? So far doing well. But of course, also in the lead and being favored from the get-go, winning already 3 maps against Nexus in this week.
Yeah, in the past they've shown themselves against Nexus, and sadly it is starting to look like a bit of a repeat. Will also depend on how the rest of this round and, well, potentially the last few rounds go. We are, of course, in the 21st round, so there is still very much, you know, the potential for things to happen. But it is starting to get close to the end, and that means that for Hellraisers, things are getting closer and closer to potentially the match win. Match point at first, but after that, quite swiftly, the match win. Nexus still 4 rounds behind after all, and their holds on their sights will have to be impeccable. Flash on Saminte is good. That molly really cancels him out. They should now have the intel of where he is, and indeed, J-Lime gets the frag on him. Xello does, however, deny, well, Flarage in the meantime, and he's still got somewhat of a hold on that side.
They dropped a bomb.
Oh no.
And I'm not really sure why. Xello having a gap in the smoke from the get-go. Getting now 2 kills because of that. Trying to play around towards the Coffin's area. Now the plant will come through. Will there be nades to cancel it out? No. Will there be nades to deal any damage? Not really that much. And now they're biding their time. They're waiting. As there will be a counter boost coming in from the T side. Problem with the frag, and why are they responding so slow? Now the bullets will fly, but of course the damage has already been dealt. It's a 3-on-3 situation, and Zello is moving into the AWP. He's looking, but the player is on top of course, that dark corner. JR moving in with Kalinka with yet another, make it a triple for himself. And Nexus seems to be falling 13-8, and Hellraisers is doing quite a decent job at coming back in towards this round as well. And, well, I'm sorry for Nexus, but it might actually be over, looking at how now they don't really have that much money. They have to go on towards an eco. And Hellraisers, well, they're building their economy, they're building their momentum. Soon to go on towards their 14th round.
Yeah, for a moment there, it was looking pretty positive for Nexus with the rather sloppy utility usage from Hellraisers in that round, I'd say. But Hellraisers still managed to get the upper hand. Good aggressive push there by Xello. It was a nice attempt, but oh, Zeus, let's go. The aggressive push there was a nice attempt, and he did actually deal quite a bit of damage on J-Line, but the connection wasn't really there.
Zippity zappity, a Zeus kill would make me happy. Image
Okay,
standing by,
maybe,
seeing
maybe.
a player, and 70 No!
Oh,
He goes down.
Unlucky.
Only Samantha alive. I'm done for.
you can dream. You know, I would have wanted to see it happen. It's okay. It's okay. You know, at least look at it this way, right? If Hellraisers do continue this, and I think we can be pretty certain of this being the 14th round going in their favor, then, well, at least Nexus, their suffering will be over soon. However, still, you know, it may be, there is still comeback potential, you know. Nexus has strung together quite some rounds in the past, so maybe after this eco, they can invest again and they can actually show up. They can show themselves. They can prove that they do still have it in them.
Well, of course, Nexus could still bring it back to overtime because, well, RJ, there's one thing for certain in the Fi.GG Legend Series.
Overtime.
Overtime. And we haven't seen one yet in this match.
No.
So we need to.
Exactly.
It's the only way.
To be fair, it would be fitting because we've seen overtime, one overtime in both matches so far.
See?
And I predicted 3, so I need a third one.
It has to be true.
Yeah, I like being right.
And there is now a buy from Nexus using utility. Xello goes aggressive. There will be a player close. J-Line will be traded out by Semente. And he's moving close to 4 more angles. Normally you wouldn't do that if your teammate dies, but well, he's got some support, and as Hellraisers is wasting a molly, they feel more comfortable staying there.
Understandably so. A bit of damage dealt on Semente there from the engagement that he had at this top of Banana. And that might come to, well, break him up a bit sourly later on. Can you say that? Say it like that?
Say it like what?
You know that? No, actually, I don't think that's a saying. I think that's just me trying to translate something from Dutch into English.
That's very good. Dutch sayings are the best, as BTN is also the best player. Gets one. Samento with a follow, but problem is BTN goes down. Spray to put down on towards the floor. Is it BM? Is it just something he's used to from 1.6 problem? Now falling as Raga moves in aggressively like we're pretty used to from him. And that will be a 9th round for Nexus. Let's go, boys. There is a chance.
There is a chance, yes.
There is a chance. As long as the fans believe in the Nexus comeback, we will as well. Until it is over, we will believe. Until the final round is in for Hellraisers or Nexus, there is still a very good chance. This breakdown from Semente, very nice. BTN helping him. A little bit unfortunate they were peeked upon and BTN wasn't able to play on contact of his teammate later on. Still, it's a round for them. You just don't need to go too aggressively because, well, there's that AWP from JR, but nades might be flying in from the side of Nexus, and there they come. JR just a little bit too far up ahead, but J-Lime going down very, very low. 14 HP as Semente now has the opening fragment with the MP9. 13 HP can just expend himself, he thinks, and he will go down. Xello, triple kill! Only Kalinka alive. And that means it's going to be a 1v4 bomb dropped, and he's trying to move through, but will he survive? No, BTN with the finisher, and it's 14-10, double digits.
And look at the rapid pace that Nexus is throwing into this now, you know? They are just really, really heavily fighting back, and the speed with which they do that is impeccable. So far, things might actually turn around to Nexus their favor. It's starting to look better and better for them. Hellraisers don't have the reserves really to work with. They are at least starting to dwindle. You can now see that there is a buy going to be coming in, but after that, they will barely have any money left. So who knows if Nexus can keep them pressed down. If they can keep their economy low, there is a solid chance that it might be Nexus on the comeback of, I'd say, the entire match.
Don't stop believing.
Hold on to that feeling.
And maybe, just maybe, Nexus will shine through in the end. They now just had a very good round, losing, I believe, only 1 player. And that means their economy is slowly building. And even if they don't win outright in regular time, they could still have a chance in overtime. Hellraisers doesn't even have their 15th round just yet, of course. Now calling a tactical or technical timeout, trying to bring it back in towards the next round. They're buying up. They have a good buy, Hellraisers. But as you said, their money is running low. If they don't get a bomb plant in, their loss bonus will not be sufficient for them to buy another round. That would mean that Nexus would come in closer, or at least thinking that they will win this round. And of course also the pistol armor from the side of Hellraisers later on. AWP will be standing by from either side, but JR, of course, a glass cannon. Easily to be fragnated out, and well, who knows what Nexus might bring to the table. JR, I think, also a little bit hesitant to go towards Banana because, well, those nades will fly in quite happily most of the time. It seems to be in B execute coming in from Hellraisers, but it seems like they're maybe also just testing the water.
Yeah, that's how you got to approach it sometimes. Just take it slowly. See what there's to find and what you can bait out, maybe utility-wise, and see where you can potentially find an opening to work with. Right now, it doesn't seem to have been found just yet. Hellraisers falling back towards mid. And of course, mid control they do very much still have, but BTN potentially can deny things here. It will all depend how they play it out. But it looks to be more apartments this time round. There is no apartments presence from what I can see, because Nexus has decided to go for quite a heavy B site presence. You do have IM here or Ime on balcony, and he could potentially start to make things difficult, and he starts off well, gets the frag on Kalinka.
Are they over-rotating?
Oh, no.
Oh, no! They're over-rotating away from the side. Ime will deal some damage. Takes down J-Lime. It's now a 4-on-2. They're trying to get back in towards the side, but they lose a player. Ime goes solo. The other player is not really supporting him, and Problem still has a chance to survive. He will get another kill. Tries to reload, but BTN there for the refrag. Only JR alive. Of course, Glass Cannon will be hard for him. Flashbang to come in as well. Where is the peak? The peak won't come. There will be a peak from JR, however. Only Cemente alive, and they know where he is. There is a defuse kit. There is also a nade now picked up by Cemente, moving in. He will be spotted out by JR. And he's actually using his pistol. Why?
Oh, no.
It's Hellraisers now on towards a match point. And I dare to say this is a throw from Nexus they might not overcome.
Oh, they threw away a two-man advantage. How can you do that?
They threw away a good hold just because some utility came through and a kill from JR. But, well, they saw a player come down from the S and said, oh, well, that will be the fake. We already have a very happy B hold. We would just need all players there rather than leaving our flank open.
A very happy little B hold, but then happy little accidents happen, like over-rotating on, over-rotating or just misusing utility. That was a good start by JR there. Does quite quickly get refragged by a scout headshot from BTN. And with that now, this round is still up in the air. This could go to Nexus, this could go to Hellraisers, but if May starts off well, can frag Problem.
What?
Continues? When did he, or how did he get that Flarage kill, I wonder.
Just peeking in time and time again, saying nobody ever peeks twice. But, well, 3 times the charm apparently for Hellraisers. Now a 3-2-2 and look at the buy. Still BTN low HP on the scout. Cemente on towards that MP9 and look at J-Lime's position. He's holding off the entire flank unless if Cemente times him out and goes for Archway at the right time. Nexus officially not out of it yet, but with J-Lime moving across ring around the Rosie with Cemente, he's maybe saying, well, he seems clear. We should really go towards A.
Oh,
Especially
no.
as he now gets a kill.
Oh,
and that is maybe the initial rotator for the side of Nexus to go down. There's still a player on towards B, however, but that is Xello, standing by the AWP as well, getting the frag. Now a 1v2 for Kalinka. Low HP going towards A. He's gambling. He's saying, well, if BTN is still somewhere, he now must have actually gone for a rotate, but he's standing by for USP. 2 shots could do it. But of course, also a headshot would do the trick instantly on towards Kalinka moving in. BTN aiming upwards, might be showing his barrel. If Kalinka would just check that mini pit area. Ooh, he's not, oh, yes! He will see him, just that barrel picking up a little bit. And now we have a 1v1. Up versus AK. Xello versus Kalinka. Flashbangs being used. Xello actually has a nade. He could deal damage with that. He could seal the deal as well. But he's deciding to move in once more around the smoke. Oh, there's a nade. Is it a good call? No, it goes too deep. It goes out of the map even. He actually picks up the MP9, but he will not be able to get the round in the end. 16-10. Hellraisers will win this best of 3 with a 2-1 scoreline. A better performance from Nexus than they have shown in the past. But it's not enough. And it is, I have to say, due to them starting relatively badly on towards the first half. Once again, giving a very good and long streak towards their opponents. And, well, it really hurts as Nexus slipped into my heart.
They're in your heart. They're still there, obviously, and they still have a chance. They're not completely out of the running. You know, they're going to that, I believe that's the, lower bracket Group C consolidation final, I think.
I think it is,
yes.
Yeah,
it is. There's a lot of words, and, and long words. I'm not good with those. It's a shame. They tried really hard, and for a moment it looked like there might have been a comeback, but with that 15th round, they're going to Hellraisers. that was the turning point. And that was also a round where they threw away a 2 versus 4 advantage. It was a 2v4 in Nexus their favor, but they still managed to throw it away. It's a shame, but it is what it is now. There's no getting around it, and we have to look forward. We have to look to the future. And of course, the future does tell us that we are going to start off tomorrow with Apex facing off against Crazy. Now, of course, the person or the team that falls off there is, of course, actually eliminated.
Indeed.
And that team that wins there will face off against